Sleepy Hollow Season 4, Episode 4, The People versus Ichabod Crane. Really enjoyed this episode. I think we got a lot of good moments in this with the characters learning a lot of pretty important stuff. I think the biggest thing that I enjoyed as far as discovery in this episode is that the characters, like the whole team, is now figured out Dreyfus really does have some demonic connections, and that his like bodyguard or whatever is just like full on demon. He goes in and just like he chokes the guy, and at first it's like, okay, he's choking the guy, and then he's like, it's like a force choke or something. He just left him floating in the air, and then he opens up all the drawers to look for the next I believe it was the next clue to the talisman. I don't think it was the actual next talisman, but I thought that was a cool sequence. And of course we have Alex and Wells. I can never remember his first name, but I remember his last name is Wells. And we have the two of them in there, and they actually get to see this happen because this is the first episode where they really get into the thick of things. And at first it starts off like, all right, well, we have to help Jenny because she won't be able to just do it on her own. Like, we can figure this out. And we had two characters. One guy, he wants to just really go for it, and then the other person, she's not so into that. It's like, things are really, really freaking insane. We should probably pull back a bit. So I like that dynamic for them in this episode. But eventually they both just stick together and they kind of go out in the field, and it gets a little intense for them. So I like that we got to see them do that. Like I said, that led to the team figuring out that Dreyfus really does have some crazy demonic connections, and there's something, they know that with him having those connections, that's something that they're going to have to worry about, because they weren't even dealing with the same storyline in this episode. Like, the team is trying to help Ichabod, and Dreyfus just so happened to have his own little mission for his bodyguard that made them cross paths for a minute. So I thought that was actually kind of cool, because he's going towards this talisman, and we still don't really know the full effects as to what they're trying to do with these talismans and things like that. But that was really cool that they did that, and now the team really knows what's going on with Dreyfus. So that was definitely great. Ichabod going through his sort of psychic torture sequence, I actually really enjoyed that, where he kind of confronts some of the issues that he's faced in the past, and he's confronted by an image of his son. And I thought that was really cool, and I don't know where they're headed with it, but the way they end the episode, everything seems to be fine. I thought the ooze was just gonna like break out of the glass, or like the glass was gonna crack or something, but it ends up making Henry's face at the end of this episode, and I was like, does that mean it's gonna take on like a physical form? Does it have to attach to a human being and transform them back into Henry with, I guess with Henry's memories and stuff, like everything at least that Ichabod knows, the ooze would know. It's basically the symbiote from Spider-Man, but the ooze would have to know, and it just has me excited. I don't know what their plans are officially going to be for that, but I was like, that's really cool. It made the face, which means that it still has Ichabod's memories in there, and I thought that was really cool. So I'm very excited to see what they do with that. That probably won't be for quite a few episodes, if they even do it this season. Like, that could be something they save for next season. But I thought that was a great way to end it. But just the sequence in general, I thought was really well done, with Ichabod confronting some of the issues that he's faced, and his, his initial thing is that he's, on trial for murder, and he just goes through these things, and it becomes way more than just murder. It's leaving people behind and stuff like that, and the emotional aspect of not being there for his son, who's probably, it's different, ways why they would have chosen Henry to come back. It could be an actor thing, or just that's who they thought was the best character to bring in. But with it being Henry, I think it makes the most sense, because that is, it's like the oddest form of regret. He has this biggest regret for leaving a child behind that he never even knew about until it was too late. And then he still ends up having all this, like, regret from something that technically he shouldn't regret. It was something that he never knew, but it's still his son, so he has that regret there, even though he had no idea. Like, he just didn't know that he existed in any way, shape, or form. So I do like that it was Henry, and it does make a ton of sense that it would be him. And I love the way they went through that, and we have the rest of the team working together without Ichabod, which I thought was very cool. And I want to say her name is Diana. She really does kind of work with them in this episode, and I really enjoyed that. She comes in saving Jenny, which I thought was a funny little scene, and then as it gets further through the episode, she gets a bit more attached to Jenny. It's like, okay, I understand a little bit more about how things are playing out and how serious some of this stuff is. And of course she doesn't want to put her daughter in the middle of this, but she does call her daughter to actually help Ichabod, and she's the one who ends up saving Ichabod's life. As the witness, that does make the most sense. And I thought that was really cool. It was a smart idea, and it was very simple. She's like, you're so good at making up these stories and stuff. Why don't you tell me about this guy that you've been drawing, and tell me the stories about him. And I thought that was really cool that, she goes through and talks about how he's a good person and he's happy, but he can also be sad. But one of the biggest things about him is hope, and how he gives everyone else hope. And I thought that was just a really cool way to actually save him, because I thought he was going to break out of it just like they did. Like, they go in with like the cool flamethrowers, which I thought was really cool because they had like green flame on it. And they get him out, they destroy the beast at the same time, they like blow that thing up. And I was like, okay, he's done. He's not going to go through the rest of the torture where it's like, oh, he's going to kill himself. It's just going to be, he reflects on that stuff because it's just a serious part of him. But it kept going because, as they mentioned, maybe he was just so wrapped up in his own mind, it didn't matter that they destroyed the creature. They needed something to really pull him out of it. So I thought that was cool the way they did that, because I was like, oh, sweet, they beat it. And it was still a dramatic episode. He still went through some serious stuff, but it didn't go all the way to the end. And it's like, no, it's going to get there. They have to figure something else out at the very last minute. So I enjoyed the way they did it. This episode definitely had some funny moments. I think Jenny, when she first breaks into the compound, was my favorite comedic moment in the whole episode, where she's doing like, the fake voice and stuff. And she's like, oh, I can get that. And the guy picks it up, and the bolt cutters drop out, and it's like, oh, man. So I really enjoyed that scene when she got busted. But it was a really good episode. And I'm very excited to see them really confront, well, maybe not confront Dreyfus, but try to, investigate him and figure out what he's planning. Because now that they know his bodyguard is a demon, they know that there's going to be something bad about that. Like, anyone who has powers in the show is bad. Like, that's just the way it goes. Like, all the human characters, nobody has powers. Anyone who has superpowers, they might start off good, but at some point they become bad. That's just the way it goes in the show. Anyone who has any sort of supernatural element to them, where they can revive, or they can do any sorts of abilities, or have any sorts of powers, at some point they turn evil. We've seen it happen with every single character in this show. And I mean, this one, they weren't really hiding it. He just started off as a villain. So we'll see where they go with that, now that they know he's someone to really look out for. But I certainly enjoyed this episode. We'd love to know what you guys thought about it, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I actually want to know what you guys think is going to happen with this ooze. Like, are they going to like resurrect Henry almost and have the ooze take over someone's body and transform them? Or is it just going to be like a mental thing where the ooze infects a person and they just know, like, they know what to say to Ichabod to mess with them? What use could it be, now that there is no actual creature? What could this ooze really do outside of retain memories? Like, is it going to be, like I said, is it going to have, actually basically be a clone of Henry? I would love to know your theories for how you guys think that'll play out, even if it's, way down the line, if it's not even this season. I would still love to know your theories on what they're going to do with this stuff, resurrecting the character, just, bringing out the mentality of that character, just using a different actor. We'd love to know where you guys think that's headed. And like I said, we'd love to know what you guys thought about the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.